Did you know that there is one simple trick to become a fluent Japanese speaker? Hi, my name is Terumi. I am a native Japanese teacher. スキルと運が出会い、プロの技術が光る。チームはボールをボレーし、的に当てなければいけません。I'm speaking English right now, but I really couldn't speak English at all. Horrible pronunciation. I live in Japan, something like that. Which is, what is becoming a fluent speaker? What does it mean, you know? So what do you think? I'm speaking English right now. Can you accept me? Am I English speaker or not? So what does it mean becoming a fluent Japanese speaker or English speaker? Speak Japanese fluently means speaking Japanese naturally and automatically without any hesitation. You can express your exact thought without thinking about any grammar. Speaking Japanese without ever feeling nervous or worry about mistakes and pronounce it correctly. Do you want to be a Japanese speaker? If yes, let's learn only one simple trick to become a fluent Japanese speaker is how you learn today. So before we talk about this simple trick, let's figure out what is the problem in the Japanese learning. Most of Japanese learners cannot speak any Japanese, like even one phrase they are not sure. And most of Japanese learner is reading and writing, and really few people are speaking and listening. So what is a traditional Japanese learning method is reading, writing, grammar, and letters. It's nothing else. But we already know is not helping the speaking skill. The traditional Japanese learning method is like a puzzle. You can imagine, if you are doing the puzzle for 20 years, do you really think can be a Japanese speaker? I was learning English like that way too, and I realized that it's not helping because I don't know how to use this vocabulary. So right now, let's learn what is the one simple trick to become a Japanese fluent speaker is to learn like native Japanese speaker. So I am native Japanese speaker. How we learn Japanese is we never learn the grammar like that you are doing with a textbook. This grammar is this meaning. This grammar is this meaning. And also we never learn the vocabulary randomly. We never learn tree, car, weather, and laptop. We never learn like that way. So learn like a native Japanese speaker. What does mean? What you can do from today is try to focus on the most frequently used phrases. First of all, do you have Japanese friends? If it's yes, what phrases is most useful with these Japanese friends? But I think it's most of people say no, I don't have any Japanese friends. Then it's because if you don't have any Japanese friends means you have to learn how to speak a little bit politely to the stranger. And what do you talk about with the stranger? And always I say self-introduction, which means, oh, where are you from? How you end up here? Why you are here? Or, oh, what kind of job are you doing? Oh, what is your hobby? Something very useful phrases is definitely self-introduction. You learn most useful question to Japanese stranger. And also you can learn most frequently used answer about you while you are learning Japanese. Where are you from? What kind of country? And what kind of culture do you have? Or why do you like Japan? All you need is to focus on the self-introduction because this is the most useful phrases when you speak Japanese. So speaking Japanese fluently is like habit, everyday life. Speaking, using the words naturally, automatically is like habit. So it's not like open the textbook and it's going to the totally different world from you. My father and my mother was always telling me, so when you meet Japanese other like stranger, say like this because this is a polite way. So we learned the phrase with the right visual situation. So I've never lived in the English country, but I can speak English. So all you need to focus is how you learn. No matter where you live, no matter how many vocabulary or how many exams you passed. So all you need is to focus on how you learn. So learn like native with the real visual situation. So which means when you meet Japanese, what you gonna talk? So unfortunately, you are not kid. So, native Japanese speaker, how we start, speaking is with mother and with father. So then the most useful phrases is to speak in the family. But it's now you don't have Japanese mother and Japanese father. So what is the most common situation is definitely stranger Japanese in Japan or in your country, or on Instagram, or on Facebook. So please learn Japanese like native. And also when you actually learn the most useful phrases in Japanese, at the same time you can learn the culture. Especially Japan and your country, we have a huge gap of culture differences. So if you are just learning the grammar and vocabulary, you cannot actually understand how to use. But if you learn the most useful phrases, you can learn the culture and you can understand how to use it. So that's why try to focus on the phrases and the memorization. This is really helping to understand the culture and how to use immediately. And you can use it naturally and automatically because you memorize it. So this is the fastest way to learn Japanese, and also you can be a fluent Japanese speaker. So you can a little bit leave the traditional learning method, which is, like a puzzle, and you cannot really understand how to use it. So learn Japanese like native Japanese speaker. At the end, I am really believing on you to become a Japanese speaker because I really couldn't believe myself that I can speak English. This feeling is amazing. You can speak Japanese without being nervous, and you can speak fluently, confidently, automatically. This is the real life-changing. And that's the fluent Japanese speaker when you actually can say, I can speak confidently. So if you want to change your life with a Japanese speaking skill, seriously, join our master course, 2 months. So you can be ready to communicate with Japanese people after 2 months. So for example, you can maybe make Japanese friends, you can enter the Japanese company, you can try more conversation with Japanese people every day. So that's why your speaking skill grow up every day. So these 2 months, we're gonna make a perfect the foundation of your Japanese speaking skill. Then you can start speaking with Japanese people, real life or social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, or anywhere that you can actually have the chance to speak. So if you really want to change your life seriously with Japanese communication skill, speech skill, presentation skill, for the business, for the private, let's join the master course.